In one of the few speeches that Warren Buffett did with Bill Gates, he said that he probably wasted 10 years of his life reading slow. So that's why I found it very important to learn how to read quickly while maintaining your comprehension early on while you're younger, especially if you read a lot. And so I want to share with you 10 tips to improve your reading comprehension based off me studying this for a while now. I've read a lot of articles, watched a lot of videos on it, and I've picked the best tips because a lot of the tips out there, let's just be frank, they pretty much just say to skim and they really don't help. It's kind of like cheating. It's not really speed reading or increasing your comprehension. So let's start with the first tip. The number one thing that you can do is take notes. So get out a pen and paper and just take notes. You don't have to take notes on everything. I think some people, especially when I was younger, I would literally have more notes for one page than the actual words on a page. Don't do that. Right now, I'm doing like maybe one or two sentences per few pages. Just whatever really sticks out. And I think that's important. Second thing you can do is buy an actual book. When you have a hard copy book, there's just something different in terms of uh, being able to read it and understand it rather than having a electronic version. And when you see point three, you'll understand why this is even more important. But long story short, it's important for your comprehension because you can flip to pages, you can reference them, you can um, do all sorts of things like bookmark a page. The third thing you can do is highlight pages. So get out a pen or paper uh, and also get out a highlighter, and whatever you want to do, underline certain things or highlight things. I recommend not overdoing it because I've seen people write so much on every page that the whole thing's a mess and you can't really understand it. The fourth thing that you can do to be a better uh, reader and comprehend and retain more is to create an outline after you finish the book. It doesn't have to be an extensive outline, but if you can outline the biggest takeaways for you specifically, then you can really reference that and it'll refresh things that are critically important that you forgot. The next thing you can do that can increase your retention is to talk about it with other people. I'm making this video and I do a lot of videos on my YouTube channel where I talk about the big points I learned from reading books. This helps me internalize what I learned. Also, it helps me document what I learned. Of course, you do not have to upload them publicly on the internet. You can keep them private. But they're a good reference point whenever you need to remember what you learn. The seventh thing that you can do to be a better reader is spend time speaking out loud the words that you say. Now, of course, you don't want to do this constantly because a lot of the foundational speed reading habits that I've used to make my eyes more efficient, such as using peripheral reading and so forth, it slows you down because you can only talk so quickly. But doing this occasionally will really help cement and allow you to concentrate. Okay, so the last three things. Let me just shoot the heavy hitters. The next thing you can do to be a better reader and improve your comprehension is to read the book How to Read a Book. Now, it's a cheesy title, but it is very well known and it has tons of 5-star reviews. The average rating on it is a 5 out of 5 stars, and it is a book about how to read a book. Now, it may seem simple, but it's actually a very in-depth book on how you should read different types of book. It goes into detail on how to approach a fiction book differently from a non-fiction, and all sorts of tactics in terms of how to better read a book. Okay, second to last thing you can do. The second to last thing you can do to improve your reading comprehension is to listen to audiobooks. Now, this may seem counterintuitive to some people, but audiobooks are very important because genetically, most of us were taught through story and through people telling us in person. The printing press and words and reading are a fairly new phenomenon in terms of the thousands of years of human civilization. Therefore, many of us are still genetically wired to learn best from listening. Now, that's not all of us, so you want to mix and match based off what you are best at. I'm definitely more of a listener, so I listen to straight audiobooks, or sometimes I'll do both. That's a little bit of a mind hack. You can increase the speed on an audiobook while you are reading the book. So you're listening to it and reading it at the same time. And because of the mandatory speed of the audio, it keeps you pushing forward while you read. And then the last thing, the 10th thing that you can do to be a better reader and improve your comprehension is to figure out what environment works best for you. Notice how I worded that. I did not say pick a silent, quiet place in the broad daylight under a tree in nature. For different people, they work better in different situations. Some people, like myself, prefer a very quiet, serene setting where there's no disturbing people and it's just you. Other people prefer a bustling, noisy place where there's a lot of people, like a coffee store. Different people will differ, and they have different levels of preference. Some prefer a hybrid of both of those, where there's a certain level of noise and actual people. I find it usually very distracting, and I find that people interrupt me. For you, it could be different. So test out different environments and see what works best for you. So that's it. I want to conclude with these 10 points once again very quickly. Make sure to write them down. Okay, so the first one, let's just work our way back. Number 10, you want to find the environment that suits you. You also want to read how to read a book. You also want to highlight books. Fourth, you also want to listen to audiobooks. Next, you also want to buy your own books. The next thing, sixth thing, is you want to be able to reference books whenever you can and use them the way that you find best, whether that means talking out loud or highlighting. And then, of course, the last thing is you can underline words and take notes using a pen and paper. And if you want to go the extra step, which I recommend, write a brief outline of the book or some type of checklist when you are done the book. Now I want to end this video with a bonus tip. And of course, if you want more videos from me, I do free weekly videos every Thursday. If you hit the big subscribe button below this video, I'll let you know on YouTube for free whenever I upload a new video. Now, here's the bonus tip. So, one thing you can do is use the table of contents and understand that you don't have to read the whole book. Let's just be honest, some books cover a wide range of topics, and sometimes you can get a very good navigation of what you specifically want out of the book by reading the table of contents. So for example, let's say I'm reading a book on just general life hacks and life success. I look at the table of contents and I see that one chapter in that book is specifically on how to do better in school. Well, if I'm mainly concerned with school productivity, that is the chapter I will read. So that's just an example, but use that to better and be more efficient with your time. Of course, don't forget, check out my channel, and I have a ton of free videos. If you click here, there's plenty more. You can choose which one to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.